What makes a man's music live forever, even when he is gone? How does a voice from a small island echo across continents, stirring souls and inspiring revolutions years after it has fallen silent? This is the extraordinary story of Bob Marley, a man who, with a guitar, a microphone, and an unwavering spirit, changed the world, one reggae beat at a time. Imagine a little boy, Nesta Robert Marley, born in a tiny village called 9 Mile in Jamaica. In 1945, his father was a white man, much older and often absent, and his mother, Cedella, was a young black woman. Growing up, Bob faced the challenges of being mixed race in a society where such things were noticed. He was often called white boy by some and black boy by others. But he carried within him a spirit that refused to be defined by what others saw. Life was tough, filled with poverty, but it was also rich with the sounds of the island, mento, calypso, and the emerging rhythm and blues from America. When he was just a teenager, Bob moved with his mother to Trenchtown, one of Kingston's toughest and poorest neighborhoods. Now, Trenchtown wasn't just a place, it was a crucible, shaping many artists. It was there, amidst the zinc fences and crowded yards, that Bob's musical journey truly began. He met two other young men who would become his lifelong brothers in music, Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer. They bonded over their shared love for music and their dreams of a better life. Can you imagine growing up poor, without much, but dreaming of using music not just for fame, but to heal the world? That was Bob. They started the Wailers, singing harmonies, learning instruments, and trying to capture the vibrant pulse of Trenchtown in their songs. In the early days, they were like many young artists looking for a break, often struggling to even afford bus fare to the recording studio. But they had a raw talent and a unique sound that was slowly becoming known as ska, then rocksteady, and finally reggae. This wasn't just music. It was a voice for the voiceless, a rhythm born from the struggles and hopes of Jamaica's poor. As their music evolved, so did Bob's spiritual journey. He embraced Rastafari, a spiritual movement that saw Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie II as a divine figure and preached peace, love, unity, and the liberation of oppressed black people worldwide. Rastafari wasn't just a religion for Bob, it was his way of life. It shaped his distinctive dreadlocks, his vegetarian diet, and most profoundly, the messages in his songs. His lyrics became powerful sermons, speaking out against injustice, poverty, and war, while always holding on to the hope of redemption and a brighter future. Get up, stand up for your rights, he sang, a call to action that resonated far beyond Jamaica's shores. The mid-1970s saw Bob Marley and the Wailers explode onto the global scene. Albums like Natty Dread, Rastaman Vibration, and especially Exodus and Kaya turned them into international superstars. Bob's concerts weren't just shows, they were spiritual gatherings, almost like church services where people from all walks of life danced, swayed, and sang along to his powerful rhythms. He became the first global music superstar from the so-called Third World, and his music brought reggae to the farthest corners of the earth. He had a deep love for football, soccer. It wasn't just a game to him, it was almost as spiritual as his music. He would often play intense matches before or after studio sessions and concerts. One famous story tells of him insisting on finishing a football game even after being told he had to go to a studio session. He'd just say, "Football is freedom." Bob's impact went far beyond music. In 1976, he was nearly assassinated in Jamaica just 2 days before he was due to perform at a peace concert aimed at calming political violence. Shot in the arm and chest, he still went on stage, playing a powerful set, showing incredible courage. When asked why, he famously replied, "The people who are trying to make this world worse are not taking a day off. How can I?" His connection to Africa was profound. He saw it as the spiritual homeland, the promised land. In 1980, He was invited to perform at Zimbabwe's Independence Day celebrations, marking the end of colonial rule. This was a hugely emotional moment for him and for the newly independent nation. Imagine the roar of the crowd, the sense of liberation and joy as Bob sang Zimbabwe and War to thousands who had fought for their freedom. He was more than a musician. He was a symbol of hope and resistance for people struggling for self-determination. Behind the scenes, Bob was a quiet, intense man, deeply focused on his music and his message. He was known for being incredibly generous, often sharing his earnings with his large extended family and community back in Jamaica. Despite his fame, he remained humble, always feeling a strong connection to his roots. But even a legend is human. In 1977, a football injury led to a devastating discovery. A malignant melanoma, a type of skin cancer, was found under his toenail. Doctors advised amputation of his toe, but Bob, adhering to his Rastafari beliefs that the body should remain whole, refused. He sought alternative treatments, trying to fight the illness while continuing to record and tour. He released albums like Survival and Uprising, still pouring his heart and soul into his music, even as his health slowly declined. The struggle was private, but intense. He tried different therapies, including an unproven diet and spiritual healing in Germany. Despite the pain and weakness, he maintained an incredible strength and dignity. He continued to perform as long as he possibly could, fueled by his passion and his unwavering belief in the power of his message. His last concert was in Pittsburgh in September 1980. By 1981, the cancer had spread throughout his body. He was flown from Germany, trying to make it back to Jamaica, but his condition worsened during the flight. He had to stop in Miami, Florida. On May 11, 1981, at the age of just 36, Bob Marley passed away. His final words to his son Ziggy were reportedly, "Money can't buy life." The world mourned the loss of a musical prophet. His body was flown back to Jamaica, where he received a state funeral, attended by thousands of fans, musicians, and dignitaries. It was a day of profound sadness, but also a celebration of a life lived with purpose. He was buried in his home village of 9 Mile, the place where his journey began. Bob Marley may have left this physical world, but his music, his message, and his spirit live on. His songs of peace, love, unity, and justice continue to inspire millions. His face adorns posters, his music fills the airwaves, and his words continue to spark conversations about freedom and equality. He showed us that even from the humblest beginnings, one voice, powered by conviction and rhythm, can change the world. His legacy reminds us that music is more than entertainment. It is a powerful tool for change, a heartbeat for humanity, and that, perhaps, is what makes a man's music live forever, even when he is gone.